Hi, I'm Becca Parsons.
I'm Frances Williams.
I'm Holden Reagan.
I'm Bethany Barnett.
I'm Brandon Cuttrell.
And this is St. Helens High School.
Our situation that we looked at is an area of land which is 3,500 acres up in Clatskanie, Oregon. This area of land is used by two different farmers, one as a poplar tree farm used for paper production, and the other by a man who raises his cattle. He has 600 adult cows and 1,200 calves, which he uses for beef. He also has 200 sheep that he uses for wool production.
The area the farm is on is mostly rural area that is right next to the Columbia River. It is composed of 3 parts, and each part they're divided by the roads. The first part is completely the tree farm where the cows are at currently. The second part is mostly field area with a little bit of the tree farm. The third area is mostly tree farm with the corral. The corral, also known as a cow kennel. The cow kennel is a circular building that has 2 openings. At the end of one of the openings, there's asphalt. The cows go in there during the winter months, and they defecate and turn, and by walking and turning the manure, turning it into compost. During the sunny days of winter, they go out and clean their hooves on the asphalt.
Okay. The problems we found when looking at this particular area of land include habitat overuse, which is caused by 1,800 cows walking around on an area of land that typically, due to the tidal influence from the Columbia River, was a wetland. The stream and the water would come up into here and it would flood naturally, causing this to be a semi-wetland. We did have the issue with maintaining the drainage system, because if you do not take care of it, it's a sub-irrigation system under the ground, but if you didn't take care of it properly, then it tends to cause too much water, which is an issue for both the tree growth and for the growth of grass for the animals to live off of. The other problem also that we had was invasive species. They tend to crowd out natural species which are needed for food for the cattle themselves, as well as the trees need their own area of land to grow so that they can be healthy, and it causes a danger to the cattle as well as a danger to the amount of food and growth for the trees.
If we were to take no action, the farmland would revert back to its original state, coniferous forest and partial wetland. And without the drainage irrigation system, the land would flood and things would start to die. Along with invasive species taking over, some of them are Canadian thistle. It's very sharp, and cattle do not like to eat it. However, it is very, sheep like it. And there's also tansy ragwort, which is toxic to cattle, and sheep like to eat it as well. So, with the sheep rotating in before the cows, those were gotten rid of. And there's also reed canary grass. However, if reed canary grass is eaten before it matures, it is very good for cattle.
Okay, so finally, our actual plan involves us making use of the 3 areas that we have for the cattle and the sheep. So we would be using a rotational system where in a specific order we have the cattle, sheep, and a fertilizer in the last one that's open. So if we had cows at this one, and the sheep at this one, and the fertilizer at this one. So the sheep would eat all of the tansy ragwort and other weeds that would be harmful to the cattle, and then we'd move into the next area. The cattle would move in there, be able to graze on all the grass that's grown, down to about 4 inches until we rotate into the next area. We fertilize the land to let it grow again, and then we keep the rotation going, allowing the sheep to move in, take out weeds, and the cattle to move in again. And then during the winter months, we make sure to move the cattle into the corral so that they have protection during these harsh months.
So as the sheep and cattle go through, they're maintaining the land. So the farmer doesn't have to spend money on getting weeds and other things taken care of. The tree farm saves money for them too. As they're going through, the food is pretty much just whatever they're eating, so the farmer doesn't have to pay obscene amounts of money to keep their animals fed and in healthy condition. And as they're going through, obviously they're going to defecate in their areas, which is also used as fertilizer, so the farmer doesn't have to spend money on fertilizer as well. And speaking of manure, we have the Clean Water Act. The Clean Water Act is a federal act basically stating that everyone has a right to clean water. And if you pollute said clean water, you have the responsibility to pay for the fines and make sure that it gets cleaned again.
With our plan, the area of land can be utilized for both the tree farm and the growth of these animals. Our two farmers will be able to easily and cost efficiently continue to have their farm be a part of our world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.